Coming up on the Huddle. Wrap up the kids. Don't run over the middle. You better watch your step because we're kicking off the Huddle. Welcome back to the Huddle. Coming to you live from the beautiful campus of the University of Central Oklahoma. I'm your host, Demetrius Wright. With me always are my partners in crime, the talking heads with all the highlights, Rick Lemon and Dylan Schwartz. Rick, how you doing today?
I'm doing great, D. Ready for a great show.
All righty then. And how about you, Dylan?
Doing good, D. Ready to get things started.
All right. Well, as we check in with our special correspondent, Austin Luttrell, later on the show, we'll talk to him later. But let's get on to it. And on that note, let's get to what the Saturday's homecoming game featured. The hated Northeastern State Riverhawks coming into town to try and spoil UCO's big day. Let's see how they did.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the field, your 2014 UCO Broncos.
Quarterback Chaz Stollard warming up before the game. He's going to be a throw-in today. Let's start the action in the second quarter. He throws to Christian Hood, who scores, tying the record for most receptions, also scoring. Good job, UCO. Later on in the half, fantastical, throws it over the middle. Omari Cole takes it out of the air and runs it back the other way. The crowd says, throw your hooves up, throw your hooves up. Fantastical is not deterred. He wants to try it again. This time he scores. Bronco Buddy is not happy with that. Everybody's looking sad. Coach Pickett draws in the dirt. He's gathering his boys together up to see what they can do to improve the defense and shut down the Riverhawks, who are trying to take the President's Cup back home. While they're doing that, Chaz Stollard takes the offense down the field and scores. Watch out, referee, because he's running up your backside. The cheerleaders are dancing and the blue crew is running. Coach Pickett wants to shut down the Riverhawks. He tells his boys, hey, boys, get in there and shut it down. The boys say, yes, sir, we will do that. Matter of fact, Kenny Allen, sacks Fantastico, takes him down to the ground like he was a dinner plate. The band thinks the game is over, and the cheerleaders are standing on top of each other. Coach Boback says, hey, boys, we need to get the record for Christian Hood. He's one of our captains. Get him the record. What did the boys do? They come out and say, yes, sir. And they throw the ball to Christian Hood right over the middle. He takes it, gains 10 yards, but more importantly, he cashes in on the record. UCO's new all-time leading pass catcher with 174 career
people
receptions.
stopped asking me about it and things like that and stuff. So I knew like towards the middle of the season I was going to be able to get it. So it's just nice to kind of have it over with and just play football now. Yeah.
Man, this is a big win for the program. You know, get us back on the right track. You know, bring the trophy back home.
First time in 4 years able to be NSU. So it was a great win. It's been a great season so far, and that's a game we had circled on the calendar. So it was really great to win that one.
We've been preparing for this for so long. So after we lost to Central, we knew that we had to win the rest of the 4 games, and this won't be a big game for us.
This was a good win for UCO Broncos as they brought back the President's Cup, as well as storing some glory back to the alumni. UCO wins 28-10. Good job, UCO. Good job, Christian Hood. And there you have it, guys. The Cho's roll to a 28-10 win, making it 7 wins on what has been a great season. Rick, Christian Hood finally broke the record this week and added a little extra pad just for good measure, taking his career totals taking his career catches to 175. What do you think that means to the offense?
Well, honestly, he means everything to the offense and the team as a whole. He's worked hard, and he really deserves everything he's received, including this record.
Dylan, now you played with Chaz, and really, what shows him as a great quarterback?
Well, the thing with Chaz, I got the pleasure of being around him every single day, and the thing that stood out about Chaz the most, he asked questions that a freshman quarterback just doesn't ask. So from that day on, I kind of knew that this kid was going to be a special football player. So to me, it's not surprising one bit on the success he's had and the way he orchestrates this offense. He's a great football player, no doubt about it.
Now, coming up after the break, we'll get into a big week of high school action with the Edmond schools taking on the competition from Tulsa.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. But it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but, she's putting them in the same basket. Again. It's like, hello, that's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
Acceptable? Yes, now there are more items you can place in your Edmond recycling bin, like newspapers, magazines, phone books, and junk mail. Edmond Recycles. It's what we do. Changing your view is what we want to do.
Welcome back to the Huddle. Now let's get into our high school action, starting with Edmond Memorial. Now, guys, Edmond Memorial made a long trip to Jinx for a district showdown, possibly a preview of a playoff matchup. Memorial put up a good fight in this one, especially being on the road, and they even led at half. But Dylan, what do you see wrong with the Bulldogs in this one after the aftermath of that destruction?
Well, in all honesty, Jinx is the best team in the state, so it would take a lot for the Bulldogs to go out there and get that win. But the one thing that Memorial has leaned on all year has been that running game. On Friday night, they really could not seem to get anything going up there against Jinx. Now, like you said, D, Memorial did put up a good fight in this game. They were up 10-7 at halftime, but in the second half, Jinx was a whole nother team, putting up 27 points, in the third quarter alone. So, I mean, that's tough to stop.
Now, Rick, what can a team do to play well through one half, but at the start, exploring the weakness, all of a sudden your weaknesses come out? Mm-hmm. What can they do?
Well, honestly, that's up to the coaches. The coaches have to make the adjustment. The players on the field, they just have to focus on staying within the game plan and not getting rattled. It's up to the coaches whenever they come out at halftime, Jinx starts scoring 27 points. It's up to Memorial's coaches to find out what's being exploited and then tell their players what they need to change to fix that.
Now, I heard that Memorial's running back, Warren Wan, is coming up on a big milestone, and you care to elaborate? You want to talk about it? I think, well, I'll tell you, because it's a good thing. I'm going to tell you, he's about to get 5,000 yards. And that's pretty good for a little running back, because he is a little guy. And he's
little, but he plays big.
And he only started since sophomore. Started since his sophomore year. And now, as a senior, he's less than 100 yards away from getting 5,000. That is a great milestone for a little guy.
It sure is. I think he's going to be able to do it no problem this Friday night.
Yeah, I don't care what level of football you're at. If you can get 5,000 yards in 3 years, then that is a big number.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, Dylan, what does it mean to a quarterback to have a release valve like Warren Wan and be able to bail himself out?
Well, to be able to have a good running game, D, it's huge for your quarterback because your balance in the passing game and the defense has to really honor that running game. And when they have to honor that play action aspect of the game, it opens up. It sucks up those linebackers. Those safeties are looking in the backfield, and guys are going to get behind those safeties, and we're going to have some big plays down the field. So that's what it means to have a running game and get that established. But speaking of good running games and good running performance, we saw a couple good ones on Friday night when Owasso came into town to play the Huskies. So let's check out that highlight.
Edmond North would host Tulsa Power Owasso on Halloween night, and they were looking for an upset. Owasso quarterback Caleb Neef would get the ball rolling for them early on, busting through defenders. 2 plays later, he'd keep the zone read to where he'd be denied on the 2-yard line. Huskies defense looks to hold strong, but Neef keeps his legs pumping and would carry the entire defense into the end zone. Coach Berger obviously frustrated what he's seen from his defense. Those struggles to move over to the offensive side of the ball for the Huskies, but did not bother Owasso one bit as Dalton Edmeyer would take this one out from 20 yards, giving them an early lead. But eventually, North would wake up a little bit when Noah Twos airs this one out on the left sideline, caught by Mitchell Perkinson, who would take it in for their first score of the game. Fans are liking what they're seeing on this Halloween night. But of course, Owasso would not struggle moving the ball at all. 290 yards on the ground. That play right there setting up this play by Caleb Neef, airing it out up the right sideline. Caught and into the end zone. Ball looks to be dropped, but the ref said he maintained possession of it. North looking to give themselves one last hope in this one. Twos airs it out to the left sideline, but comes up short. They could not find the rhythm all game. And of course, Caleb Neef taking this one in for his third touchdown of the night and giving Owasso the win.
So North ends up losing this one, guys, just getting dominated all around on the ground especially. Their defense gave up almost 450 yards of offense total to the Rams. North looks like they look like they're really having a hard time this year. It almost looks like they're ready for basketball season. So what's something, even though they're not going to be in the playoffs at 3-6 right now, what's something that they can salvage at the end of this season to maybe have a little momentum going into the next season and the offseason as well?
Well, right now it's just the seniors just got to play for their own self. Because there's nothing left. Everybody's hurt. They're not playing with any pride. I'm just saying the Huskies are down and out.
And I'll tell you,
as far as playoffs, they're not going to make it.
That's what it looks like on the sideline, too. I mean, we're all there covering the games and stuff. It just looks like they don't have any emotion on the sideline. They're out there just kind of just going through the motion. That's why I say I think they're ready for basketball season, to be honest with you. Now, Rick, what can a defensive team really, when a team is running that well on offense like Owasso did in that first half and really throughout that whole game, what's something that defense can do to at least just contain them enough to get themselves back in the ball game?
Well, really, to have a good running game, it starts with your offensive line. An offensive line has to know their assignments, they have to block the line, and they also have to get up to the secondary and block that second level of linebackers and defensive backs to be able to run a running game. So as a defense, to counter that, you have to know your assignments, and you just have to play tougher than that offensive line. You have to know your assignments, be able to break through the block and get to the gap so that you can stop a running back who's trying to make big plays like that. Now, another big battle of prolific running games happened on Thursday night when Broken Arrow made the drive down Turner Turnpike to take on the Santa Fe Wolves. Now, Broken Arrow's running backs Jamal Shaw and Warren Leak went on record saying they had a mission to prove that they were the best running back duo in the state. Now, let's see if Darren Williams and the Santa Fe Wolves had something to say about that, though.
The Santa Fe Wolves versus the big bad Broken Arrow Tigers on Thursday night. It's senior night for the Wolves, so you know they were fired up. The Santa Fe's coming in off a win against PCO last week. Broken Arrow coming in off a rare loss to Jinx. Now let's pause the video right here. Now for those of you that are just looking for the final score of the game, Santa Fe ends up losing this one 44-17. So you may now change the channel and come back here in a couple of minutes. Santa Fe lost this game not because of any of their skill players or anything on their defense. They lost it solely because of their offensive line, and I'll show you why. Now here's Broken Arrow's very first offensive play from scrimmage. Their quarterback, Austin Gilmore, is going to go back for a pass and it's going to end up being a broken play, but watch the offensive line. He goes back, realizes he has to scramble. The offensive line keeps blocking down the field, and he ends up making a positive gain out of a negative play. And now again on a running play to give you guys something to compare off of. Look at the offensive lineman running down the field and making blocks. And now here's what happens whenever Santa Fe's offensive line doesn't fully finish their blocks through to the second level. You see a difference? Because I do. Now once more, just for effect, watch Broken Arrow's offensive line create a full wall against the defense. That way the running back just has to make one cut move and he's gone. Well, heck, he's more than gone. This is Jamal Shaw running a full 84 yards for a touchdown. That is a perfectly run offensive play where the running back had to make one simple move that almost any high school running back can do, and he had to score. Then just to see the difference, this is what happens to Santa Fe's running back when he tries to make the cut move. And that's why Santa Fe ends up losing this one 44-17.
Now, like I said before the highlight, guys, Broken Arrow came in committed to the running game, and they really performed at every position. This was a big game for Santa Fe, not only because of the competition, but because it was senior night. Dylan, the pressure of the situation seemed to really get to Keaton Torrey, though. Throughout the first half, it seemed like he couldn't even hit the broadside of a barn, much less a receiver. Now, how do you as a quarterback calm yourself down whenever you seem to be rattled like that?
Well, the thing is about playing the quarterback position, you're the heartbeat of a football team. So if you're rattled at the quarterback position, the rest of the team is going to look to you. You're going to look at your mannerisms, see how you're handling these situations, handling adversity. So if they see you rattled, the rest of the team is going to be rattled as well. Now, Keaton Torrey went 16 for 35, threw for 165 yards in this game. He threw 1 interception, but overall, I just didn't think he'd get much help. But the biggest thing for me to help Keaton Torrey out is you have an all-state running back and Darren Williams in the background. Hand him the ball. Use some play action. Get yourself a little balance going on offense, and I think that would have went a long way for them in this game.
Mm-hmm. And now, D, Broken Arrow seemed really determined to kind of shoot itself in the foot this game. They coughed up 4 fumbles, lost 2 of them. What was your takeaway from the game?
Now, with the ball on the ground a few times, they kept fumbling, but you just can't argue that they were dominated the entire game. They still ended up with 350 rushing yards as a team, but otherwise, they were just beat down and dominated. All right, coming up after the break, we will break down our favorite plays of the weekend and give you the top plays of the week.
Plenty of room to swing a rope, plenty of heart and plenty of hope. Oklahoma, where the wind comes sweeping down the plain, and the waving wheat can sure smell sweet when the wind comes sweeping down the rain. Oklahoma every night, my honey lemon eye. Sit alone and talk and watch a hawk making crazy circles in the sky. We know we belong to the land, and the land we belong to is red. We're only saying you're doing fine, Oklahoma, Oklahoma. O-K-L-A-H-O-M-A, Oklahoma. Okay.
Oklahoma, come see for yourself.
Welcome back to the Huddle. If you're just tuning in, you came in for a great time because it's the time for hit sticks, and they're coming up right here.
You know it, you love it. It's the top 5 hits of the week, and they're coming up right here. Starting with number 5, NSU at UCO. UCO linebacker David Busby with the great stuff on the running back, stopping the score. For number 4, we go to Friday night in North Play in Owasso. North quarterback Noah Tooze rolling out for the pass, throwing it to Mitchell Perkinson, who just gets laid out by the Owasso Rams. Going back even further Thursday night, Santa Fe and Broken Arrow. Santa Fe running back Darren Williams trying to make a cut and just gets put down by a bunch of Tigers. For number 2, you can take your pick with UCO's defense seeming to try to lay out the entire team in Northeastern State. And for number 1, Noah Tooze gets reminded just why he's not a running quarterback. But we've got a bonus this week with Santa Fe linebacker Jeremy Cox destroying an offensive lineman for Broken Arrow. And then who says just because we're sportscasters we can't hold a grudge? That's Chad Stallard hitting an MIAA referee. We're still a little bit salty towards them for hitting our girl Abby Forrest a couple of weeks ago. And that was your top 5 hits of the week, plus a little bit extra.
All right, there you have it, gents. My top 5 hits of the week. D, how you like us getting a little bit of revenge on the MIAA refs?
I know it's not good to hold a grudge, but for Abby's sake, that was well-deserved. That referee ran her over, and now we got him back.
And Dylan, you see anything you like this week?
I'll tell you what, that hit on Noah Tooze there at the end, that wasn't the only time that happened. Every time they tried to run that option, that 94 for Owasso lit him up. So that was just the one of many just like that one.
Now let's throw it over to our special correspondent, Austin Luttrell, for another edition of Literally Speaking. Austin?
There's only one player to talk about this week, and that is Christian Hood from UCO. Christian Hood became the all-time leader in receptions here at UCO with his performance against rival Northeastern State on Saturday. Hood only needed 4 receptions coming in, and instead he got 5 to secure his place in UCO history. Hood finished with 59 yards and a touchdown on Saturday, but his now 175 receptions passes D.D. Carter. Christian Hood has been around the program since 2011 and has seen it go through some tough times. He is one of just 2 players on the roster who were here for 3 straight 2-win seasons. Hood led the team in receiving as a freshman, which is impressive. That is this week of Literally Speaking.
Good stuff, Austin, and congratulations, C. Hood. He had a huge week this weekend, and I really liked it.
He really did. He's worked hard his entire career. The entire time I've known C. Hood, like I said before, when we got the opportunity to have him in studio, he deserves everything that he's accomplished. And it couldn't happen to a better guy on the team. Absolutely not.
He's the best guy.
Heck, he's probably just happy that people stop asking him about the record now. He can just
be
focus
quiet
on the field.
That just speaks volume of the type of character that he has. He wants the attention to be on the team rather than himself.
Definitely, definitely. Now, instead of having one of our special one-on-one interviews this week, we caught up with a multitude of UCO players after their big win on Saturday and got their reactions.
It's nice. People stop asking me about it and things like that and stuff. So I knew like towards the middle of the season I was going to be able to get it. So it's just nice to kind of have it over with and just play football now. It was awesome. First time in 4 years able to beat NSU. So and it was a great win. It's been a great season so far, and that's the game we had circled on the calendar. So it was really great to win that one. We've had a couple big ones throughout the years, and then we've had a couple big ones this season. But every time we play a rivalry game, it's always great to beat our rivals. So this one will rank up one of the tops of my favorite wins in my career for sure. Okay. After we lost 2 weeks ago, Coach just said, focus on going 4-0, and we're halfway there. So, got 2 games left, 2 tough opponents. So just finishing it strong and finish the season 4-0. That's our goal, and so that's kind of what I'm looking forward to.
Whew. Kind of pumped. We've been preparing for this for so long. After we lost to Central, we knew that we had to win the rest of the 4 games, and this won't be a big game for us. So we came out, we did what we had to do. It's exhilarating. Okay. You get in the back, you did do what you're supposed to do, and you got past the O-line, and now you're chasing down the quarterback. When you finally get him, it's just a rewarding feeling. It's the defense as a whole, but it all starts up front with the linemen. So if we don't do our job, then it's going to throw off the linebackers, then it's going to throw off the DBs. We eat together, we hang out together, we study together, we work together, we bleed, we do everything together.
Yeah, it's like a family.
It's like a family.
Man, this is a big win for the program. Get us back on the right track. Bring the trophy back home. Oh, we're closer. These are my brothers, man. I'll take a bullet for every single one of them without even thinking twice. You know what I'm saying? So we're all together, and we're gonna move together as a unit. All right, we've got a long trip to Lindenwood. They're a pretty tough team, We're gonna show up, we're gonna play. Then we got Pitt the week after here, and if we could pack out Wanland again and get everybody, it'll be a good game. I'll tell you that.
We really try to get a good variety of people to talk to, and I think we got some great answers. Now, Rick, you called it. C. Hood really believed he was going to do good on this record.
He could really tell that a weight had almost been lifted off his shoulders. He was just so tired of talking about it, and he doesn't want to be the center of attention. He just wants to play football.
Yeah, he's definitely. Now, what about big old Kenny Allen?
Kenny is the anchor of that D-line. There's no doubt about it. And getting the opportunity to go against him 2 years in a row, every day in practice, he made me better as a quarterback, for one, because I was afraid that he was going to get to me every play. So it was nice. And we even got to catch up with Cody Jones. We haven't got it. He's got no FaceTime for the season that he has, arguably an All-American this season for what he's accomplished. So it was really nice to get a chance to talk to some of those guys.
Mm-hmm.
Now, moving on to the other quarterbacks, though, it's time for my countdown for the best throws that we saw last weekend on another edition of Dylan's Dimes. Check it out.
This week on your Dylan's Dimes, we got a Wasu quarterback, Caleb Neef, zipping it into the right side, finding his receiver. Of course, we got Chad Stollard on this list, threading the needle, finding Christian Hood. Next up, we got Keaton Torrey, who has a rocket arm for a high school quarterback, throwing that one to his wide-open receiver for the touchdown. Here's Chad Stollard again. This play is significant on Dylan's Dimes this week because this is the play that got Christian Hood the all-time receiving record at UCO. And here's Noah Twos in that Edmond North game, finding Mitchell Perkinson for their only score of the game. Keaton Torrey threading the needle, that big arm allows him to make a lot of throws that high school kids can't. Here's C. Hood, bubble screen out to him. He even scored a touchdown on his record-breaking day. Huge day for him. Caleb Neef, of course, was zipping around the field all night, first on that one, and then on this 35-yard touchdown pass, and your Dylan Dime of the week.
Rick, you see anything you like on that?
I tell you what, that first Keaton Torrey throw, he really does have a rocket. It looked like he was about to throw that thing about 40 yards, how quickly it came out of his hands.
When he ain't on his back.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, if they can protect him a little bit. That guy does have a rifle for an arm. D, what about you? You think you can make some of those throws out there?
No, because I'm more of protecting you pretty boys back there. I'm an old lineman, so I'm out there protecting, getting all beat up so you guys can look great in the paper. All right, we got to take a break. But coming up, we go through next week's schedule and give you predictions of how the teams will do.
So who's going to do what?
I'll pack the dead batteries.
Great.
I'll only put what I don't need into a duffel bag.
Perfect. That's totally unhelpful.
No problem.
Meanwhile, I will try to comfort everyone by speaking in a calm voice. And who is going to handle supplies?
I can forget to do a list for us.
Thanks, pal.
We couldn't be any less prepared. I'm proud of you guys.
Talk to your kids about who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Visit ready.gov/kids for tips and information.
All right, here's the order of predictions, how we see the games for next week. Austin, what do you got first?
Well, first up, we got UCO traveling on the road to take on Lindenwood. We got to say it, Lindenwood isn't very good. They're 1-8. This should be a game. It could be a trap game, but UCO should win it as long as they don't look forward to Pittsburgh State in 2 weeks.
After that, we got Edmond North going up to Tulsa Union. It's North out of the playoffs. This is their last game going against a very good Union team. I think we're all anonymous on that. We're going all TU on that. How about you, D?
Yeah, I got Santa Fe at Norman, and Santa Fe is not going to win this game. Okay, going on to you, Broken Arrow. What do we got for Broken Arrow?
Broken Arrow traveling down to Meet Memorial at Watland Stadium. I have Broken Arrow winning this one. I was at their game last week against Santa Fe. I saw just how hard they could run the ball, and you guys all saw just how good they could block. I've got Broken Arrow winning this one.
Not so fast, my friend. I am going to say that Memorial is going to upset Broken Arrow. I think the defense is going to hold, and all of a sudden Coach Meredith and Coach Orvis down there is going to coach up them Bulldogs and pull up an upset.
You're just trying to buy some wins at the end of the season to get that overall record a little better. Is that
it? What's with all the must be some static or something. Okay, now it's time for now that's all the time. I'm shut it up because of the preseason and it's playoff time. I'm all choked up here. Now we have today that's all the time we have for today. Rick, you got anything?
Nope.
Dylan, you got anything?
I'm doing
Austin,
sports.
you got anything?
I'm good.
All right. Thank you for joining the Huddle. That's our time.